Hey, we are live. Welcome to Movie Crap Live. How's it going? Should happen any second. Any second now. Oh, there's an ad. Purple Goop, that's cool. You got snow. Oh, no. Let's see. Commercial. Oh, there we go. Hi, welcome. Oh, there we go. It's my fucking cats that need to dance around here. Let me play the music. I gotta fix something real quick. But let me say hello first off. Hello, Avery is cool. I guess I like that name. Pup, Cornbread, Purple Goop, Sinram. Thank you for telling me when ready. I was like, if Sinram says he's ready, I'm gonna go. Thank you, Cornbread. Purple Goop, congrats on the snow again. K Master, Cornbread, Lily Moment I saw earlier. I think did we get everyone? K Master. Yeah, pretty cool group of people. All right, let me fix. Cat's not gonna. Man, these kittens are a lot of fun. Hold on, one second. I don't want to start it with pebbles. Get out of here. Get out of here. Sorry, something I need to fix in here. All right, there's Ryan Walterson. There we go. All right, we got a crew. We've sent out the things. And let me switch over. Hello, how's it going? Sorry it took me a minute. Super Dusky's here as well. It is Movie Crap Live. We have a lot of stuff to talk about this week. I'm hoping not as much stuttering and stuff. I messed with settings and stuff like that, so I'm hoping that fixes things. I didn't actually get to do all the updates I wanted to, so I'm hoping this works out. Please be patient with me. My cats, I guess. What Avery is cool, I guess, said just saw Elvis in concert. Oh, okay. Oh, that's interesting. But yeah, about Elvis, I didn't know that. Elvis is Elvis. What are you gonna do? Yes. Oh, I should turn this off. Not much happened this past week. I'm trying to think anything I watched. I'm like, oh, it looks better. Actually, the quality is technically lower, so I was surprised. It's really just the camera. I didn't do anything like, but that's interesting. Hello, Modelo Butterfly. I'm trying to think. I saw. Okay, kittens. Let's cut it out. Out of here. So I have a sound blanket here, and the kittens are not are thinking it's a play toy. What was I gonna say? What did I watched some of Wonder Man. I'm like barely making it through. The thing is, I will have stuff on sometimes, but I really actually want to fucking watch it. And yes, that's like stopping me. Although there's a couple things. Oh, Austin's here. Oh, Purple Group last week was at the Dropkick Murphys concert. Blart. I like that. All right, so I will reveal this is a cool energy drink. Let me make sure I have the camera. This is a cool energy drink. I'm proud of this. This is, nobody guessed it, but I don't know if you would. I found this at the deli. I was like, okay, I gotta get this for the stream. I found it last night. And it is the C4 Godzilla. There he is. There he is. It's the Godzilla. I guess that's the logo now. Godzilla energy drink. It is the sour blue Razilla. I don't know if I love that plan. It says super. Hold on. Where does it say? Oh, bold flavor, awaken your inner Godzilla with earth-shattering bursts of electric tartness used with berry sweetness. It doesn't whisper, it roars. Anyway, yes, there we go. Let's try this. No, I like Wonder Man. It's just I haven't had the. Anyway, cheers to you, Loxy Axelwinkle. It's very candy-like, but I think it's based on -1, but it just says Godzilla. It doesn't specify a movie, so I don't know. But to me, it looks like. But this Godzilla could be. I don't think that's necessarily -1. But anyway, Trying to think of cool stuff. You guys are kind of ruining the whole sound blanket thing. Get out of here, Jesus. Um, uh, it's kind of breaking my concentration. I saw Nirvana, the band, the show, the movie, which was cool but that messed up because I wanted to say good luck, have fun, don't die, and my kids don't want to see Goat at all. Okay, hold on. Sorry, this is getting a little. Guys. All right. Sorry about that. I mean, I think it is the -1 design. I'm just saying it's not technically. Anyway, sorry. Sorry to yell at my cats. I'm hoping they went to do something else. Doesn't look like they do. So you can't see the sound blanket moving. All right, I'll try to roll with it. Although they were being really crazy. I'm trying to. Oh, I recently discovered. I mean, -1 is really great. I'm excited for the new one. I kind of want to do the second Heisei and the second Millennium because I've done a lot of Showa. Anyway, I need to do more Godzilla reviews. But the other thing is, so I'm grew up as a kind of kid who went to comic book stores in the '90s, and I'd always hear about this. The problem with getting into anime then was like you had to get VHS and you couldn't rent. Like each VHS was like $3, which was a lot if you're a kid. And I could never get the Bubblegum Crisis because I'd heard about it, but apparently it's on Pluto. So I think that might be my next anime. I'm like kind of thinking about that because I'm like, I've heard about it my whole life since the '90s. So I don't know. Maybe it's not. Maybe you guys are like, don't do that. But I'm kind of tempted. I'll just watch the first one. I'm trying to think of. Sorry. We watched Luca again. Luca is very good. I didn't really get to watch. Okay, get out of here, Jesus. I didn't really get to watch it because I was like taking care of kids at the same time. But I do like the Porto Rosso thing. I was like, wow, you guys have like no chill about the Ghibli thing, like nothing. But it is like such a good movie, Luca. I don't know, just not. I don't know. Definitely. When people say Pixar fell off recently, I'm like, well, you're not counting Luca, obviously, because Luca's very good. I like Luca. Um. Oh, Cornbread signing off from Bowman Court. So I don't know anything about it. That is not like a. Oh, I didn't put in my charger because you guys are too crazy. Um. I don't really know anything about it. I just know it was a thing that people would talk about in the comic book store, but it was like to rent it. It was also with anime. There weren't that many tapes. That's the other thing. Um, they didn't understand Luca. What's not to understand? Are you for real? No, I'm not mad at. Sorry, I'm not Ryan Wilson. I'm just like I didn't know that anyway. But like, yeah. Oh, by the way, that was the other thing. So there wouldn't be a lot of places that rented anime tapes, and if like more than 5 kids in your town liked anime, you were it was going to take forever to get like Ninja Scroll because they all had to watch it. This is like really, really obnoxious, you guys. Okay. Let me just. I'm trying to think if I have anything else I like. Okay. Okay. I want to talk about this. I have flyers in Forbidden Planet again in Union Square. I have another one at the Joe's Coffee, which is sort of near there. And uh, but then I saw, which sucks, is the reason I don't do stickers anymore is I noticed people would seriously like just put a sticker over the QR code on the sticker. So okay, guys, you cannot fight under me. Oh my god, this is just sorry. Um, and that's really frustrating. And I saw someone I had a sticker that was up for like years, and someone ripped off the QR code from it, which is like I don't know. I don't know. I don't really get when people are do that stuff, but it does suck. But there are also people who I'm not even joking will go in New York and just rip down flyers and stuff. And I don't really understand why you do that. But there are people who do it. They're not being paid. They're just weird. I mean, Ryan, you're right about Luca not being gay enough. But that's that I thought you meant a criticism that wasn't that. Anyway, keep the mini I should really have a camera kitten fight. I don't know why they want to be in here. You guys never want to be in here. Please don't fuck with shit. Hold on, let me plug in. As soon as I come, they're like, "Oh, this guy's gonna ruin our fun." All right, I should just get into it because there's a lot of stuff today. Hold on, let me plug this in because I forgot to. Okay. Um, no, I understand QR codes lead to malware, but it's pretty clear I don't. Anyway, I get that, but it's just like I don't know, whatever. In terms of videos, this past week we had the Iron Lung, the Markiplier film, the video seeing SpongeBob movie. Sophie edited. I'm gonna let her edit some stuff. I kind of want to train her to edit, to teach her to edit, and I thought it'd be cool to have like actual projects because if you have a loose thing, in my experience, you don't finish it, and you're like, look, you learned something, and you don't. And if you have an actual project to finish, so that's why the Seeing SpongeBob movie was so late. But she edited it. I was there, and I was like, but it were her decisions, so you can notice the difference between how I would edit something, how she would edit something. But I thought it was a cool idea, and she had a lot of fun with it. I think she's gonna do more like shorts and stuff, but we'll see. It's really I don't pressure. If she's like not interested, I would have just done it or scrapped it or something like that. So anyway, and then Train Dreams, which won the IFC Spirit Awards, uh, um, uh, Independent Spirit Awards winner. Which that's a like it used to be on the Saturday before the Oscars, and I used to watch that. And actually, if I didn't get to do the Oscars, the nominations breakdown saying, um, and I used to do that while watching the Spirit Awards in like the '90s and stuff. It was be fun. It was like Spirit Awards were on and stuff. But unfortunately, they aired them now. Although Ego Odom did it, and it looked all right. But Train Dreams won. I really like Train Dreams, and I think there was stuff this weekend, right? There was the retirement plan. Oh yes, my connection to retirement plan is that I think one of the people worked on it worked with my wife and like accidentally grabbed her scarf and mailed it back to us. So I'm not exactly sure which one, but whatever. That's kind of neat. You know, I didn't know that when I filmed that. Not that that changed. I never met this person. It means nothing to me now. But I mean, the scarf was nice though. But I mean, we have never met. And today I am going to talk about do a short for. I didn't have a chance to do the newer cartoon, so I'm going to do that. And the three sisters thing. I'm sorry there wasn't a link to it. It was on YouTube until I needed to put the link in the video, the thing that I do, and then it just was gone. So I don't know what the fucking deal is with that. I'm sorry about that. Because it seemed like whoever owns the rights went like, hey, wait a second, and didn't like that it was up. So that sucks, but it is what it is. But it looks like we might just do. It is not a newer shirt. I've had this for a long time. It's John. The IFC used to do these shirts like directors as band names, and did John Carpenter as the Carpenters. Although a lot of people think this is actually a joke about Karen Carpenter and her anorexia. And anytime people confront me, I'm like, no, it's from a movie. I'm not making fun of Karen Carpenter. I think what happened to her was very sad. But people have come up to me and or gotten mad at me and looked at me because they think that, but it's not. But clearly, like the people who would get upset about someone wearing an anorexia shirt, there's no Venn diagram, or those are the same people who have seen They Live. Apparently, those are not the same demo, which is funny. I have to explain They Live to the Carpenter fans. I'm not doing 1979 tonight. I'm doing. I'm not sure. 1979 will happen. I have all the notes. But I was gonna do animated Oscar, the Three Sisters. I posted it in the Twitter and stuff, but if you didn't see that, I apologize. Um, I will do 1979. I didn't forget about it. It just didn't work out that week, and there's a limited time to do the animated shorts. So I apologize though for that will happen. That's like a big one for me. So that will happen. Trust me. The Smashing Pumpkin series is kind of like based around that video for me. Anyway, and throwbacks was the regular show Carl Weathers episode because of Goat, which I don't know if I said earlier, but yeah, my kids have no interest, so I think I might be seeing that by myself. I didn't realize I was holding off, and they're like, yeah, Hoppers though. No. I understand your confusion. Your confusion is justified, Syndrome. I believe I did say that, and that was a stupid thing to say. Anyway, let's just get into it. This and everything I do is supported by you, the fans, either through super chats during the show, and I will drink this awesome Godzilla drink. This is the most Godzilla we've done. I have a Godzilla energy drink. I have a Godzilla toy for when you do $40. I should have done this one first. I'll make him roar like this. Well, that's the fart one, which I know you guys like. And then this lamp, which will light up. It was $20 for this, 40, and then also this. This every 20, this every 40. And I'll drink this. So we're Godzilla'd out. I kind of was like, I need to get better lights, but I figured, we have the Godzilla thing. So, and Dan's here. Maybe they also hate Nick Kroll, which I get. Wait, who hates Nick Kroll? They also hate Nick Kroll. Now I'm confused about that. Who would hate Nick Kroll? I'm missing something here. Austin, explain yourself. Oh, because he's in Goat? Maybe they hate Nick Kroll. Okay, I'm assuming because he's in Goat. It took me a minute. I got there. See, I didn't see Goat yet, so I didn't know. But cheers to you, Austin. If that's what I meant. I'm sorry. Maybe they do hate Nick Kroll. Oh, he's the lizard? Okay. Modelo Butterfly, thank you. 140. Whoa, I'm moving up in the world. Cheers to you, Modelo Butterfly. Um, and yeah. All right. Godzilla out. So you did, Dan. All right. Anyway, he does too many animated movies. We'll get into that in a little bit. All right, this and everything I do is supported by you, the fans, either through super chats where we are Godzilla the fuck out tonight. As you can see, not sure why this week when there's no Godzilla move news or a movie out presently, but it's Godzilla, so who cares? Or through my Patreon, which is in the link below. It helps me do all sorts of the cool stuff here. It helps continue the YouTube channel going. You get all sorts of exclusive stuff like postcards, which I'm gonna figure out tomorrow. My commentary series, as well as you get the questions at the beginning of the questions part of the stream. You get the first couple of questions. You get all sorts of exclusive stuff, and it helps me continue to do what I do. Exclusive videos like my commentary series, the public access show, all sorts of cool stuff like that. Only if you are a patron, it helps me do this, and it's a very nice thing to do. If, of course, you are financially able to. If not, just liking this video and subscribing helps this channel very much. And even if you want to turn on notifications, that's the thing. If you want to, I want to specify that, you get all sorts of cool stuff. Hello, Bloxy. Have all sorts of cool stuff through there, and you can hear about the community. Not always the community posts or notes, but definitely each video and stuff like that. And you can keep up to date on things if you would like to, especially when I do instant premieres. If you have notifications go to your phone, you can be like, it's an instant premiere. I gotta stop doing whatever you're doing and do that, or not. You have the choice then, I guess. Anyway. But anyway, if you are just watching this, and there are people who just do, I like to say hi to everyone. Thank you very much for watching. If you have a YouTube login or not, I appreciate your views. Sorry. But I've always had people who just, and that's fine, and I like that. I want to give a shout out. Anyway, also there is the Discord, which is run really well by Austin, Zane Powers, Cornbread, and Ryan Welcherson. They do an amazing job. I'm not sure what the movie watch is. Are we doing a movie watch this week? I'm not sure. But they do a weekly movie watch. It's a really great community, really wonderful vibe over there. There's the licensed playing card channel where I finally posted my MetroCard cards in there. They're just this, really, but it's just a bunch of, they're doing Mouse Hunt. Good choice. And it's just a wonderful community. If you like everyone in the chat and you're like sitting there and you're like, I would like to hang out with people in this chat, they all seem so cool. You can do it at any time. Just join the Discord. I know Discord is going through some weird changes, but my Discord at least is cool. So Nico just walked in with the ball in her mouth for some reason and then left. All right. We are not doing a movie this week, but the following week, I'm sorry, Cornbread, the following week they're doing Mouse Hunt. Following week doing Mouse Hunt. Not this week. I skimmed it clearly. Not this week. Next week. I mean, you can watch Mouse Hunt this week if you so choose. But to do it on the Discord, then no. But you can watch Mouse Hunt every day until next week, if that's what you want to do with your life. Who am I to stop you? Who am I to stop you? It's the anniversary of Shin Godzilla? I knew that. Yes, because 2016. Yes. I don't know why I'm debating this. All right, let's just start. Sorry, it took me too long. Okay, so the Toy Story 5 trailer came out today, and I don't know. I'm kind of like, whoa, dang, is this for real? What's NOK? I don't know what that is. Okay, it's it's okay. I understand what this is. Hold on, let me give a shot. It says, "Yo, Jim, I love you in the Pizza Party podcast. I know it's not really a thing anymore, but I just wanted to let you know 200 is about 200 USD. I figured that I'm happy that you are doing reviews. Thank you very much, DF Gesper, DF Jesper, GF. Anyway, cheers to you. You almost gave me a shock there. Cheers to you, and thank you very much for your super chat. I really appreciate it. Norwegian. Oh, are you Norwegian? That's cool, man. Cheers to you. I appreciate the support, and yeah, I mean, I'm glad you love pizza. I still like that people like Pizza Party. I don't mind that. I'm gonna hit, since we're past $20, we're gonna turn on the Godzilla with this other Godzilla, so it's multiple Zillas, I guess. Although I think they're all similar. Well, this is maybe Japanese Godzilla, and this is American Godzilla. I'm not sure what Godzilla the guy in there is, but anyway, I mean, this is definitely American Godzilla but anyway, DFG Esper. Okay, well, anyway, DFG Esper, thank you very much for the support. I really appreciate it. That's really awesome. And you can hang out in the chat if you'd like to. Oh, William Owen, we love Movie Crap Live. Well, thank you. Oh man, damn. Okay, we're doing it. Okay, first off, cheers to you. Oh man, I love that. MC, it took me a minute too. Since we're already at that, we can do a proper roar there. There we go. I'm gonna be honest, I don't really like, I saw Godzilla 98 in theaters at the Senator first weekend. I don't like it. I'm gonna be I don't really want to rewatch it. I saw it once, I was like, that was enough. I'm like, I know people have this nostalgia for it. I am not a fan. The only thing I've done is the Puff Daddy video, which I guess aged, yeah. Mistake. All right. Let's actually, okay, so Toy Story 5. Sorry. Thank you for the love there, everyone. Toy Story 5. This was there's a lot of problems I have with this trailer already, and I didn't expect this. I was not as anti Toy Story 4, but I am not I'm agreeing with you on the show, Dan. I pointed at the chat like you can see that. I just think the iPad thing, yeah, I mean, I have kids and they play with toys. And most kids I know, even the ones who are obsessed with iPads, have screen time limitations. And it seems like from that trailer, that they're acting like kids are just on iPads and the parents don't care about screen time. And if it was during like COVID, I'm like, screen time limits really went out the window during that time. I can say that just because you're trying to work and stuff. And if they had wrapped that into it, I would be like, maybe it's Toy Story 5 is about COVID. That would be crazy. But instead it's like this weird Luddite thing, which I really don't love. And I don't like that all the toys are like, we have to fight technology, when it's like, those are also like very different experiences for kids. Like the reason a kid will want to do like, I want to show this off, sorry. A kid would want to do a video game is different than playing with a car, a doll, and a book and stuff like that. Now, I do not let my kids play video games all the time forever. and I probably have more limitations on them um than I did, which, you know, most of the TV watching I did now would be considered negligence, I must say. But so I didn't particularly. By the way, GF Jesper, thank you very much. I know I'm sorry it's 5 a.m. where you are, but you have a good rest, man. Thank you so much. But yeah, it's just that I just feel like it's missing the mark. Now I will give it that we don't know the full plot. Like, what are they running from? All this stuff. Is like Bonnie gonna get abducted because she was on Roblox or something? I'm not entirely sure. I was like, is that the plot? Because sorry, that's dark, but I mean, she has an iPad and she's a kid, so that's not. Let's like legit in the realm of possibility. But Woody showing up again, I also think is kind of dumb. This just feels like we're just doing a sequel to do it to keep the to keep this going. I don't know. I wasn't really impressed. Woody being bald was like fine, but I mean that was kind of funny. But in the poncho part, I like the throwback to spaghetti westerns. But I'm also like that he's saying more toys are being abandoned because of technology, and they call it tech and stuff. It's just I don't know. I was not a fan of this trailer, and this concept. Am I gonna see it? I think everyone's gonna see it, but I think like I hope there's a bigger point than like iPads is bad and like no, you're a parent, you should go like um you know taking the iPad away, or you put a screen time on it, or there's certain pretty easy tech things you can do. So I don't love that, especially from the Disney Corporation. I'm like, come on guys. I'm not really a fan of it so far, although I did like the Woody stuff and the balding. And like, why is Bonnie? It's just like Bonnie's thing is always a certain vision. Like, it used to be like if they'd go into the imaginary world, it was always different. So I was like, that, I don't know. We'll explain that more. But I do hope it isn't a super like Luddite, like, tech is ruining kids, where it's like, well, no, parents should. Anyway, I just think I don't really get what we're doing here with the choice. I wasn't really happy with it. I'm like people do, I have seen like kids have play dates and they're just on iPads. Like those things are real, but like usually it's like, yeah, well, they were playing outside for an hour and a half or something. Like there's limits on it. And maybe it's a problem for her and they get into that and stuff, and that would be interesting, but we'll see. We'll see. Anyway, I don't know. I just like it really kind of put a bad taste in my. I wasn't like hyped. I was more like, oh. Oh, hey Margie Rabbit. Hope you're doing good too. It's been a minute. I just hope yeah, I think it'll still do well. I still think it could probably make $1 billion, but I hope that there's more to it, because right now I'm like, she just got an iPad, like, or is it an iPad she has to do schoolwork? Like that's the other thing that I was kind of wondering. Like, is it all her friends are working on a school project? Like, they're I don't know. I get the impression this is done by people who don't have kids with iPads presently, which is like not. I really don't want to be lectured by Andrew Stanton about iPads with my kids. I'm sorry, I don't. Not something I'm interested in. All right. The next thing is we will get to Doug Walker. I have like two subjects and then Doug Walker. Um, the Kristen Bell as was cast as Amy in Sonic 4. This has been kind of the big. I think most people have been wondering who. Hey, what's going on? Well, I think most people have been wondering what's going on with Amy in Sonic 4 and who's going to voice her. I was Kristen Bell is an actress I have no issues with. I think she's a very good voice actress. I think she's a very good actress. She's done a lot of good work. I've never seen Veronica Mars, but I like Good Place and Frozen and other things. I don't know. But anyway, we all like her. We're fine. I just think it's like kind of a really boring casting choice. Uh I I just don't really find it very exciting. I like, you don't really need a name like her also. So like I'll give it to her that like I'm sure she'll do a good job. I was just disappointed by like we don't really need like her voice in another thing. I just thought like I have forgetting sorry. Thank you, Ryan. I just didn't really. I wish they picked someone who I was like, oh, neat. And instead it's like, oh, I mean, I don't know. I just, I just, I was kind of disappointed, but I'm sure she'll be great as it. But I'm like, you could have picked someone who like, I don't know, and I'm sure she'll play off Ben Schwartz. Maybe like they did try other people, but like her doing it with him just worked too well. And I understand the promotional opportunities and all that stuff, but whatever. I thought it was boring, so I'm sure she'll be good. I'm not a hater. I'm just like, you know. It does seem like too big. Like she just was like she's getting 20, 30 million for Frozen 3 and 4, and then she's like I'm doing Sonic, but maybe they're like, "Hey, it worked out for Keanu. It works out for Idris Elba and stuff." Maybe they're just like, I mean, it's a solid franchise. And I will say like Sonic has more backpack cred than anybody currently. He's killing it. Backpack. I always see Sonic backpack. Before, oh well, so the AI Hollywood thing has gotten a little two stories this week. This is the Slop House. I don't know why it's so early, but it is. We'll just go with it. The first one is that Tom Cruise Brad Pitt fight thing, and I know a writer of Deadpool and Wolverine was like, "Oh, we're so done." I don't think that is what I love when people are like, "We basically just used Hollywood shit and made a Hollywood thing," and then we're like, "Hollywood's done." I'm like, "You're so influenced by Hollywood." Like to me, like if you're gonna be Hollywood is done, show me like insane camera angles and weird stuff. Don't show me Brad Pitt and Tom Cruise not fighting like each other. It's just like, come on. I just don't. Also, Tom Cruise would beat up Brad Pitt. I don't think Brad Pitt can fight. It's like Tom Cruise would not stop. Brad Pitt gets tired. That's my opinion. But I don't like Brad Pitt, as you know. But it it was I was like, if you actually know anything about fighting movies, it stunk. And it stunk. And it wasn't very good. And I thought it was like a dumb thing. And then Disney and Universal and everyone sued the fuck out of that company, rightfully so. And then they're like, oh, we won't do the copyright thing anymore. I love all these companies that like try to show off with it, and then they get sued to high heaven. They're like, no, we're done, we're done. Um, uh, and then, well, before I move to this, Will says, well, I mean, the commentary on technology isn't too far for Stan considering Wall-E. Feel bad that Andrew, sorry, new movie is getting such a pitiful, quiet release next weekend. Would love to check it out theatrically. I was surprised considering also that he's a pretty major director still, and he's doing a big movie, but that might have been like a compromise or something. I do think like, I don't know when it would come out, but I don't know. It is a little weird considering how important he is to Disney. So I'm just going to keep this going because we have hit the various things. Thank you, Will. It's nice seeing you again, man. I appreciate it. But you're right. That is a good point. The other one is AMC theaters, which I actually don't frequent, so I don't have to feel too bad. Uh, wanted to do AI shorts for the movie, which stinks because I would love animated shorts before movies. In fact, I think we should be doing that in general. However, that's... Oh, yes, Will's right. In the Blink of an Eye comes on Hulu next week. I was planning on reviewing it and stuff. They were going to do these shorts before the movie, and then they got such backlash, they said, okay, we're not going to do it. I don't know what's going on with AMC. That seems like a really bad move, frankly. Especially because most of Hollywood's against that, but Regal hasn't done that, so I don't need to be too upset about that. But it was like kind of not, I don't know, but it does seem like both these AI things, like they have these bursts of like public relations and public publicity, and then it like dies down really quickly. So to me it's like AI is just like hype and then nothing, and I think when it brings on the huge economic collapse we're going to have, it'll be a lot of fun. I'm so glad. And then we're going to run out of hard drives and shit. Jesus. Anyway, all right. I thought we would be interested in this. I didn't know about this today, but Only Plays is making, this is a real thing, a Doug Walker plush. And it's not, also, I like that Mr. Saber Sparks got a plush before Doug Walker. That's... I need to message him about that one. I was like, I can't believe you did it, bro. I think I'm gonna tell him tomorrow. But yes, there is for real a Doug Walker plush. It is in pre-order. If anyone could stop Ryan Waldorson from sending this to my house, which I know he will, Do not do this. I'm not joking. I know this is going to happen if I say this or not, but I know he's going to do it. So please stop him from doing it. But I know he's running for his credit card right now. Ryan, just don't. Please don't. Don't explain to my wife who Doug Walker is. Um, yeah, Saber has like several prices. Anyway, so Doug Walker, apparently it's going to have 11 phrases, one of which is how many times have you watched Kick-Assia? Which is which I thought was pretty funny. And then we found out that if you pre-order, you get a bonus voice box, and they will not tell you what's on that. Now I guarantee you one thing is that what's that channel, Dancing with Ghosts, who if the Pizza Party podcast was still going on, that guy would, I'm not even joking. I don't know how him and Pan don't know each other. I think about this all the time. If Pizza Party is good, that guy would have been on it. I'm like, I haven't heard him make a reference to it, but like there has to be some Pan and that guy connection. Anyway, because I've seen him do Doug Walker, so I watch it. But oh yeah, it does have 11 phrases, Weston here. I'm so sorry. But yeah, the Doug Walker doll is in pre-order. I expect when it comes out, lots of YouTube videos on it. It's just funny, like why, why make this out? It's just such a weird, like, why are we getting a Doug? I don't understand. But I do like that, like, I don't know. I'm not sure, like, him leading into the joke always plays to me as, like, fake. Like, he just knows he has to do it, so he does it. But, like, the kick-assy thing was funny, but he says, like, I'll remember if you don't have to, all those things. It has a gun and, like, a suit and all this stuff. I think it's more sort of like let's pay back internet, legacy internet stuff. I get it. Um, I totally understand it, but it is just like such a bizarre thing that we're getting this in 2026. And that like art, how many people are gonna buy it? Like, I just don't. I don't know. I don't know. Nathaniel Focus says, can't wait till Nathaniel Focus. Sorry. Let's start over. Can't wait till the Nostalgia Critic does a Hercules review with the only gang. They've really become that tight. I don't understand that reference. Why specifically that? But either way, cheers to you. I mean, he probably should. Cheers to you, man. I'm trying to think what movie would I want to. I actually wouldn't mind him seeing Nirvana, the band, the band, the show, the movie. Um, but the problem with him is like, I don't know. I've like, not that I'm a big Purge guy. Well, I do enjoy them, but he's always like, I like the commentary, but I just feel like we're just going to that. Like, that doesn't make sense. I'm always like, dude, it's not supposed to. I don't know. He's always like, I notice in all his I don't really know what Oni plays is. No, I don't. I don't. Uh, why does it look like Vegas? That's his complaint. God, he is the weirdest. Anyway, I don't have much to say on this. It's just so bizarre that we're getting one. Why did okay? I'll look it up later. Not right now, but I got other stuff to talk about. But it is kind of entertaining. Hello, Javier Portello. That we're getting a Doug Walker. We're getting a Doug Walker plush where he says stuff shit. I'm like, whenever this, I think it comes out in the summer. Expect so many TikToks of like him, and it'll be in the background of it. 100%. I'm curious. How about this? Let's do. I never do this like ask a chat question thing. Who do you think of people who I've collaborated with or in the whatever the cartoon community is? Who is the first one? Not me. I don't count. Other than me, to have the Nostalgia Critic plush in a video or in the background of a video, like Pan, Tariq, Joey. Is it Joe? I always think it was Joey. Saber. Let's throw Paleo in there. Anybody. Anyway, who do you think would be first? I'm not trying to insult anybody. I'm just like curious. Anyway, so Smiling Friends, we've learned, and people keep me. I didn't watch anyone's video on this, but I did read that they're considering that possibly they could end at season 5. I'm going to be honest. I am much more of a Westinator wins. I'm much more of a I'd much rather have a solid bunch of episodes than just like a constant barrage of good call, Ryan, of content. And I don't mind if like we have a solid 5 seasons of Smiling Friends. I do think uh um uh I do think it doesn't we'll super that's you would. I do think it's a show that could go on for a while. I am like noticing no one, much like how directors now don't want to do Marvel movies, they want to be auteurs. I think animator like auteurs who people come to see. Um, I think animators don't want to be The Simpsons. I don't think anyone wants to make a Simpsons other than maybe Family Guy. I think most people are like, I want to do my show, I want to leave, I want to do other stuff. And I would much rather just see like 4 cool shows from them than one show that just never ends because they have to work on it. And I do think like it would be a different show if it's just their voices and like other people are writing it. So I hope, I mean it never got Rick and Morty big. Unfortunately, because I think it's actually that good. But I'm okay with it ending in season 5. I will be sad, but I still enjoy rewatching them, so I'll just rewatch them when I'm kind of messed up and stuff. That's always fun. Jane Schoenbrun, I think, the director of I Saw the TV Glow, announced a bunch of stuff about her new movie, which is called Teenage Sex and Death at Camp Mi, Mi, Miyasama. I think it's sort of, I'm describing it. Uh, I'm describing it as basically if someone planning to make a remake of, or sorry, someone planning to do a reboot of Friday the 13th, but the movie, no, sorry, it's basically like Ingmar Bergman's Persona, but instead of them being in like a farmhouse or whatever, it's been a while since I've seen Persona. They are trying to make a reboot of Friday the 13th, and it's Gillian Anderson and the girl from Hacks, and it looks cool. It comes out August 7th, 2026. I'm really excited for this. It seems like a cool concept, because the girl from Hacks, who I'm sure Ryan will put her name in there or someone, is basically being someone who's writing with the older star of this franchise, who's Gillian Anderson. I think it's really cool. I also like how Jane Schoenbrun, because I keep seeing people post things about I Saw the TV Glow, and I've said when in my review I had a hard time because I don't really love 90s nostalgia. It's like kind of overdone for me, but it's probably the only movie I've seen that's 90s nostalgia the right way, where it's like Amber from Buffy in that one sequence, because she's kind of a gay icon, and when he's talking like that has a whole bunch of meaning there. Or Pete and Pete in that one scene, or Fred Durst is the dad and stuff. It's very smart casting, and it's not really. It's sort of stunt casting, but it's like thematically works. So I'm like totally cool with how Jane Schoenbrun does it. I think it's. I'm not sure how I'm supposed to introduce. So if I did it wrong, I apologize. And I binder. Thank you. But August 7th, 2026. That is like that's it's. I'd say outside of seeing a Spider-Man movie with my kids is my most anticipated right now. All right, I am going to talk about Warner Paramount. I'm sort of doing stuff because it's like I know that's like the industry nonsense. I feel like it's. I wanted to do all this stuff. I think we've done all the thumbnail stuff, so I just wanted to, in case you're like, I know that's not the most fun. So I'm. If you're wondering, it's purposeful. That's what I'm saying. Amazon has put out a few statements, or someone at Amazon, that want to be a global destination for anime in the world. This is one of 2 stories where it's basically like a guy says a thing in an interview and people get upset. I honestly think what's happening with studios, and this is probably the first thing we saw, is they kind of are like, oh fuck, Sony kind of just owns all of anime in America. What the fuck? And it like, in all honesty, the studio's messed up. They're basically like they are going to try to counter what Sony's doing. I think they're like years too late, which I gotta say I think is embarrassing for them because there's so much of a thing. I've also noticed when I bring up anime, I say, oh they them. I apologize to Jane if I said she. I meant no offense. But I do think we're going to see more things that I know Disney has gotten a tremendous amount of flack for letting anime and adult animation not touch them at all, and I do not expect that to go away. But Amazon is trying to make more of a gesture to there. I just don't. MGM has to Amazon MGM or whatever has to step it up and do it more theatrically. They can't just be like anime is here because Hulu has that, and Hulu is not the anime destination that Crunchyroll, and that is. So we'll see. I think that is a YouTube thing, but it's not freezing as much. So I guess the settings things I did are not as bad. I mean, I'm okay from where I am. Oh, it froze. Never mind. It's not as bad. Okay, this is definitely not. YouTube is not. That is distressing that it does that. Because it's always like YouTube being weird. Ah, well. Because it's not. My computer is being normal. I don't know if it's like. Because of all the. I'm just going to blame AI. Just going to blame AI. Anyway, oh yeah, it's like completely. But then on all the things that are like my things, it's not frozen at all, which is so weird. It's like on the thing on YouTube Studio, fine. On OBS, fine. On YouTube itself, not fine. Which I don't. That make it make sense, I guess, but it doesn't really make sense in my mind. If you're doing that, it's very weird. Well, anyway, I do need to do a little more research into that, and I apologize for not. I did do some stuff, but I wanted to do more. But oh well, we'll just keep going, and I appreciate y'all's support. I apologize for YouTube being fucking weird. All right, the next thing is the Terminator anime was canceled by Netflix. So basically, the creator of that, not James Cameron. I didn't write down his name, but whoever was doing it said it was canceled. The critical and audience reception was tremendous, but at the end of the day, not enough people watch it. He would have loved to do. Basically, he was going to do a Future War. He had planned for season 2 and 3. I think everyone wants to do the Future War thing at some point. I don't know, not that Terminator Salvation did it very well. And they did give him they offered to do 2, maybe 3 episodes to wrap up the story, but he basically said no because he wanted more time and stuff like that. I think it sucks because that was probably one of my favorite Terminator things I've seen maybe since Terminator 2 almost. I like Dark Fate actually. I did, sorry, we'll see. I already talked about Nostalgia Critic. Yeah, I think that's unfortunate. If you haven't seen it and you like Terminator, I highly recommend it. But yeah. All right, moving on. Bill Hader, we learned, is making a horror movie, which almost everyone suspected he would at some point. I think we knew maybe he was doing it. There are rumors, but it's called They Know. All we know about this right now is it's his new film, and it centers on a divorced dad, Hader, who is a divorced dad, by the way, who grows suspicious that his ex-wife is secretly dating a mysterious man who's having a strange influence on their children. I'm a little confused about how personal this is. Hey, Embla T, how's it going? What this is gonna be like, what the overall I don't know how I am curious about him doing it because he is a very smart cinephile guy, but I don't know. I'm very curious. This does but I'm like, that seems very personal. I don't know, but we'll see. Yeah, I do. I'm like, how dad rights are getting on this. I'm gonna do the obits early because I wanted to talk about these two guys, even though maybe I shouldn't. That feels kind of off. I'm changing my mind. Let's move the two obits, which I guess they are very big, to after because I want to talk about the two other trailers. We can talk about that when we normally do. Man, Cats, you're really putting on a show. I really should have a cam down here. Not that we need more things to mess up the stream. All right. Where were we? Not Paramount yet. Where are we get? Okay. Trailers. We got a new trailer for Mandalorian Grogu, which I think brought back after that Super Bowl ad did not do what everyone thought it was gonna do, which I thought it was fun. I think like maybe Chill the Fuck Out is clearly a parody thing. This looks like he's going down a list and fighting people, and Grogu's there or Baby Yoda. Looked totally cool. That it honestly looked like a decent trailer. Um, I don't really have too much to disagree with this one. I'm kind of like looks like a fun Star Wars movie, but I kind of like I think maybe the how much they milked Mandalorian before this sort of ruins this. Like if this was after season was it season 2 with Luke at the end and stuff? If this was season 2 to this, I think could have worked. But the season 3 and Book of Boba Fett and all that, I forget how many there were. But after the Luke thing, I think it like this just feels like a return to form, which I think Mandalorian sort of needs and Star Wars needs. So we'll see. I wouldn't mind a solid, just a decent, good Star Wars movie. That's and I think that's sort of maybe what they're going for. But we'll see. Blue milked it. Nice, right? We also got Lee Cronin's The Mummy trailer where we learned it's basically about a girl who they thought was dead who came back. Who these parents I guess was abducted when they were in Cairo, and then she doesn't come back for 8 years. Well, she looks older than that. I'm a little lost on the logistics of it. It looks creepy as all hell. It's definitely a different take on the Mummy. Yeah, looked very very creepy. I was like, I'm curious how they're going to set up this whole thing, but it did look like very terrifying. But it more looked like Mummy's supposed to be like actual mummy. It seems like this weird thing with this kid who's a mummy, which I was like, I'm not okay. I don't know. I'm curious, but it did feel like I don't love when someone has an IP and they're like, what if I make a different thing? And you're like, well, why don't you just talk about why don't you just make a different movie then? I don't know. So I'm a little like confused, but I want to see it. The Soderbergh thing, I heard about the Soderbergh and he's gone back and forth. The thing about Soderbergh is he says he wasted 2 years on the Ben Solo movie. I think he made like 4 movies in that time too. Like he's not a guy who like every other director, if it was any other director, I'd be like, yeah, but how many he put out 2 movies last year? How many movies has like he puts out a lot of stuff. So I'm a little like lost on you wasted I don't know if you really it's like I don't know Soderbergh. Because didn't he put out what did he put out before Possession and Black Bag? It's like other stuff too, right? He's always putting stuff out. So to me it's like I mean, he probably could have made 4 other movies, but like he makes stuff pretty frequently. So I was a little trying to think what else before those two. But he in the 2020s he's made some good stuff already. So I'm like, I don't know. I would have liked the Ben Solo movie also, and I'm sure he would have made a good one. But I'm not like when I heard that I was like, yeah, but you're still fairly active. Um, but whatever. All right. And then 2 news, and then we'll talk about Paramount Warner Brothers. Although it is getting late, but we'll see. I'm almost like saying, I guess drink. And if anyone wants to do any more super chats, I guess I should turn this guy off. Although we did have a nice little surge there. Mystery Science Theater, the second movie of the 4 is revealed. It's called Space Raiders, which is a Star Wars ripoff kind of thing. I love that kind of era of Star Wars ripoffs. I don't think I've heard of it or seen this one. And it seems like a cool, perfect pick for Mystery Science Theater. That was the only news I can think of that happened this past week. And then we learned that Mckenna Grace is going to be Daphne in the Scooby-Doo live action show. She does a lot of franchises, and everyone was playing that out and stuff. I do think she needs to not do a franchise, because when I saw Five Nights at Freddy's 2, I was like, man, she's in a lot of these things. Like, why is she in so many franchise movies and stuff? I don't know. I do think she needs to diversify, and she's a very talented actress, but I'm sure she'll be really good. And, I'm sure they're also looking at this like, is this my Wednesday or something like that? So yeah. All right. Be prepared. Now is the time for um the Paramount Warner's thing. I know there's not a sure chat. I'm gonna take a little energy drink because I'm feeling it a little. I apologize. Um, but yeah, and I'll stop bringing that up. Sorry to do that. But cheers to me making it through this. So, what is going on with the Paramount Warner's thing? Basically, before when I said Paramount and the Ellisons are being stupid little bitches, that is very much true. Still. But basically Paramount wants to stop the Netflix Warner's deal. They do not want it to happen, even though the Warner's board keeps going with Netflix. Now there's a small group of people who who have disagreed with it, but it's very much a minority. We're talking like, I think we might get up to 10% of the shareholders, which is not enough to do very much in terms of voting and stuff like that. But basically, Paramount wants to buy $30 a share, all cash, whereas Netflix was doing $27 a share and half was cash and half was stock. They've switched to that, and they even said they would give 25 cents per share per quarter. Well, for a certain amount, which is a lot considering these people own a lot of shares. Trust me, it is not. They're not getting 50 cents. They're getting like a lot of money. The difference between the Paramount offer and the Netflix offer is Netflix is basically just taking studios and Cartoon Network and all that kind of stuff. Wuthering Heights is later. Don't worry. They're taking all that stuff. They're taking Turner Classic Movies. Wait, sorry. Which one? Let me start over. I got distracted. Paramount's basically taking everything. Network, studio, everything. Netflix just taking the studio, a lot of the IP, Turner Classic Movies, and that's it. But then if you're on the Warner's board, when the networks sell, which is going to happen later in the year, they get all of that. Now, no one knows how much that's going to be right now. But basically, you technically could make more money from the Netflix deal, but no one's sure how much more money right now. Because Netflix is not getting that money. The shareholders will get that when they sell off basically what's called Discovery Network. So that's what's going to happen to the actual channel of Cartoon Network and stuff like that. There are certain things with this is where Netflix basically is allowing Paramount to have 7 days to convince the Warner's investors to then side with Paramount, because they're like, we need you to shut the fuck up, please. We're not really worried about this, but we'll give you 7 days to be quiet. But then the big thing that Paramount is going to have to deal with is on March, I believe, 20th, the Warner's board will meet to vote on this, and after that, it's done. This is over. Will Paramount, when they don't win, which they won't, kick their feet and the Ellisons and whine and bitch about all this? Yeah, they will definitely do that. The other thing is the government is not super into that because they will not have enough time to deal with to sue them possibly if this is a merger problem, because they just investigated a different merger and this would be a conflict of interest and it would bring up things and might actually not be the slam dunk that Paramount is pretending it is, whereas Netflix clearly is very confident because they let their competitor have 7 days to convince Warner Brothers to side with them, which is whatever. I think this is so stupid, and I really hate that the Ellisons have dragged this out in perpetuity because they're super worried that it's going to take Paramount forever to make money. I do think and they're also not good at running a media company. They screwed up the SpongeBob release. Jackass shouldn't come out then. I don't think they know what they're doing. This is just so embarrassing. I really just wish they would fucking stop. I do think they're just going to deal with it. And the other thing is that is being brought up a lot with this, and I will have some Wuthering Heights talk, is Wuthering Heights went with Warner Brothers over Netflix because of theatrical, which is kind of why like Ted Sarandos in interviews has been like, we're not getting rid of theatrical because they're starting to realize like, oh, people are going to other places. So the other interesting thing, I did a fair amount of research on this, is Ted Sarandos brought up two competitions. He said, because people were like, well, now when you own both, like they're all just going to come to you. And he's like, that's not actually true. He does consider YouTube competitor, although a lot of YouTube people think that's bullshit. I do think that's true. However, the other thing, he brought up that Tubi is actually a real concern of theirs, because I don't know if you knew this about Tubi, but Tubi gives you ad revenue like YouTube. So if you have a movie on Tubi and you sell to them, you get I know various deals are different, but you get ad revenue from it. And a lot of the streamers apparently are freaked out by that, because for indies, it's a much better deal, especially if you do well. Like if you're K-pop Demon Hunters, you get ad revenue. That's a lot of money, you know. So I think like they are worried. They didn't say they would counter it, but they are apparently the two things he mentioned in any interview I saw was YouTube and Tubi, which shows you how powerful Tubi has become. Tommy Tubi has them shaking in their boots, but I think it's also like both Tubi and YouTube have basically no curation whatsoever, whereas Netflix is moving more in the curation business. So I am curious if Netflix is using this to just like spam the fuck out of you with content more than before, because they're starting to realize this. But we'll see. I just don't see that Paramount winning with this. I think it's just Netflix is like, all right, we'll give you 7 days, see what you can do, and they won't do shit, and then that's it. It's like, and then Paramount will bitch and moan until the vote, and then they'll bitch and moan again. But the other thing that is Paramount, a bigger problem with Paramount, is if they buy the networks, the regulations over cable and sports in Europe are far more strict than here, and they would buy up a ton of networks, and then it would just apparently like Paramount is not the easy regulation thing that they've been pretending they are, and their whole thing might fall the fuck apart. So I think basically Netflix is going to buy Warner's. It's just the Ellisons are being little bitches about it. Daddy Ellison, who has all the money, has tried to guarantee it. They're going to, pay $31 a share possibly and all this stuff. I'm just like, I hate this story. This is becoming like the Blake Lively lawsuit where I'm like, I have no interest in this. It is a dumbass story. Please stop it. Just I don't love the mergers in general, but just let the Netflix thing happen. Just leave me alone. Like, I'm so sick of Paramount being little babies about this. It's just really. Anyway. The other thing, and this is one thing I learned from doing this, is according to Ted Sarandos, is that TV, 40% of TV's usage is still major television networks. So as much as I like broadcast TV and stuff like that, apparently he was like, no, it's still like we don't have, we do not have, network TV is not as over as you think it is, which I've known for a bit, but like 40% was shocking to me. And I looked it up. Apparently that is true. TV usage is like still, NBC, ABC, Fox, they still own a vast majority in America. So anyway, okay. And the other corporate industry, entertainment industry thing is this Paramount Comcast thing. This is basically made from one analyst, and this comes up a lot. It has not been announced. Neither of them have said this. I think, yeah, maybe, but Universal was going to buy Warner Brothers. That was the rumor. So I think everyone just wants another merger because it's a news story. I actually don't. I think Universal and Paramount do make a lot of sense together, but I just don't see Universal wanting to deal with the Ellisons. And I do not. I flat out do. If I was the Ellisons, once this is over, I would stop mergers for a significant amount of time until you get Paramount to become something, because they've virtually done nothing, and that's what hurts them more than anything. Like Paramount, they've done, like, regardless of what you think of Paramount now, they've done jack shit with it. So anyway, moving on. But I do find it funny that like Paramount and the Ellisons acted like, oh, this will be easier, and it's like 100% not easier if they do it. Okay, I think I explained that. Any questions? All right, let's move on to actual story, other more fun stories. The Baywatch reboot has David Chokachi, who's from the original cast, who was, I guess, Pam Anderson's sort of love interest, if I recall. It's been a lot, man. I watched Baywatch in the '90s. I've not watched it since. I know there's that uh, nostalgic critic, channel awesome person who does all the Baywatches and stuff. I haven't watched that. I wouldn't mind watching a Baywatch again, but I was like, I don't think I watched that past middle school. But yeah, David Chokichi's coming back. I was like, okay, I remember him, and that's kind of neat. It also stars the Arrow guy, who I've always heard is a total piece of shit, but I guess he deserves it. He can be on Baywatch. Good for him. I'm like, a Baywatch reboot on TV makes sense. That just feels like a thing that would play well. So good for them. I'm sure that'll do fine. But good for David Chokachief. I don't. Is Hasselhoff coming back? Wait, is Hasselhoff dead? Did they kill him, or did he? Did they kill him? Sorry. Oh yeah, and the Green Arrow guy's playing the son of Hasselhoff. Oh yeah, this is the other thing. David Chokachi. This is the byline I forgot. They bring up Atlantic Rim, the Mystery Science Theater movie. So I did appreciate that in the Variety article. The other thing, um, apparently Spider-Man Brand New Day, which we keep hearing, like, when's that trailer coming out? It's just like, it is a little late at this point. I wouldn't be surprised if it's with Hoppers or something like that. But it apparently takes place 4 years after No Way Home. I just thought I would mention that. And then will it be better than Baywatch Nights? I never saw Baywatch. All these people talk about it now, but like I've talked to other people who I watched them in the '90s. I'm like, do you know about this? And I'm like, no. So like none of us really knew about that. Um, but anyway, I apologize if I don't know a lot of the change. She wasn't with. Okay, I apologize, Hellcat, for saying that. It was not of a place of any intelligence. Um, the trailer is in February. Well, there's not a lot of February left. When in February? What? We'll see. All right. Apparently, the 28 years later sequel that's going to start Cillian Murphy is in doubt after the financial bombing of 28 years later, the Bone Temple. I like the Bone Temple, and I like what Nia DaCosta did with it. But it wasn't a commercial movie. Um, Oh, and so they are casting down on it. I do think like I was surprised when you really think about it. Like you did this all kind of on the guys that Killian Murphy will come back, and then just like left him out of it till the last one, which is kind of dumb. I do think like financially he was on that Oppenheimer high, and you're just like I kind of appreciate the two I've seen, but I do think I think it's I don't know. It's really it sucks if it doesn't happen because I did like the last one, but it's like I wish Sony would just commit to it, although there's talk of just sending it to streaming. But with Killian Murphy, I feel like that could be a really interesting one, but I don't know like what the take is or something like that. And kind of like having the kid connect with Killian Murphy and stuff. I think that'll be interesting, but we'll see. I understand why it would be in doubt after the Bone Temple, but it's like it was a weird movie. You put it out in January. I don't know exactly what you thought it was going to be, and soon after the last one, I think it's like maybe that one should have gone to streaming, and then they do the Killian one. But I do think like I was surprised they let them get away with not doing Killian as long as they did, and now they want to do him, and they're like I don't know. Apparently, Bad Bunny, who's been circling various film projects for a long time, is that Spider-Man wrestler movie. Remember that? Is he still attached to that? I don't think so. But anyway, he will star as the lead in a film called Puerto Rico, alongside Viggo Mortensen, Edward Norton, and Javier Bardem. The film follows Jose Maldonado Román, I think, who fought against colonialism by leading a gang of ex-convicts to vindicate Puerto Rico. Yeah, I mean that sounds cool. I think it. I liked him in Caught Stealing. He obviously has a lot of appeal and stuff. I think that sounds like a good thing for him. It is like kind of hard because I've seen him in various things and stuff. You really have to have to someone to be a star, much like Margot Robbie in Barbie or Wuthering Heights, they have to be in the right project, and I think this is the right project for Bad Bunny if you're going to launch him as a movie star. Um, so I think it makes sense if you're trying to do that. So, sorry. Apparently, the Loud House is not canceled. That is wrong. They were never going to cancel it, even though it's like it probably should be canceled. But whatever, it's not. Nickelodeon's tonight. The other guy did it and all that stuff. I didn't see Happy Gilmore 2. I watched Happy Gilmore 1 and I was like, wasn't in love with it. So, the Knights of Guinevere is announced it's going to have a full season. We don't know how many episodes, but they said it's a full season. I didn't see the amount of episodes listed anywhere. But it is going to have a full season. I think it's just Glitch being like, let's just like have a little press release to remind you about it. I think that would be a good idea. And in Adult Swim, new shows, Adult Swim is talking about My Two Cars, the animated comedy from Joe Pera and Dan Licata. The only show brave enough to explore the dilemma of owning a PT Cruiser and a Mini Cooper. That brings Joe Pera back to Adult Swim. I will watch this when it comes out, but I am like, it seems like that. Eric Dane died? I didn't realize that. That sucks. I'm sorry for that. Sorry, I just saw that right now. I'm sorry. I'm curious to see it, but they do seem to be going into the normcore of Adult Swim there. No, I mean I've heard people say 8 to 9, but it was like speculation. To me, it's like she wants to do this whole thing. I hope she gets to do whatever she wants to do. Because almost everyone I know who saw Knights of Guinevere was like, that was really good. So I think like if you're doing an independent thing and using your independent studio to make an animation auteur do their thing, I think it's like why we do that. All right, there is a Charlie Angels reboot. I think like this has been tried so many times that I'm sick of it. Please stop rebooting Charlie's Angels. It is it's like how many times in my lifetime? It was like I'm sure there was one before the Cameron Diaz movies. And then we had a TV reboot with I think Minka Kelly. And then we had the Kristen Stewart and other people one. And now we have another one. Like, please stop. Like, I don't. To me, it's like if it actually like you could do the irony one, or like you had someone had a more interesting take, but it's just like I don't. I also think like if we're real about that show, it's like kind of like it's literally Farrah Fawcett's thing. I don't know why we're acting like it was more than that. I think it was just Farrah's thing. You know, it's not like it really doesn't syndicate. It's just like it is a name brand, but it's just I don't know. Or if you're gonna do nostalgia for the 2000s stuff, that could work. But I just am like I don't really get it, but they're doing it. In two movie kind of rumor things I got, the Bullitt remake, which I think I've talked about some semi on this show. Bullitt, the Steve McQueen movie. There's rumors that Spielberg was going to direct one with Bradley Cooper, but now there's rumors that there was some incident between Bradley and Steven Spielberg on the set of the Maestro, which is weird because the Bullitt remake things happened after Maestro came out. So I'm like, I don't know if I buy that. To me, it's like I think like they just realized a Bullitt remake maybe sucks. But supposedly it's still in development. Spielberg might direct it. Bradley Cooper probably isn't involved. I I'm like, whatever. And also, I will get to you, George. Don't worry. Stellan Skarsgård apparently said no to Batman Part 2, partly because, as most people know, if he wins the Oscar, which he probably, there's a good chance, his quote would go up, and he apparently would not confirm. And Warner Brothers like, well, you have to. And he goes, well, no. So, yeah, he's not going to be the Dent dad. We're still wondering who Harvey Dent's dad is going to be in the Batman too. Although I do think they should get somebody. I watch it'll be Johnny Depp. George Tunes asks, which cartoons will you most be watching on Tubi? If Powerpuff Girls or Dexter's on there, I'm not sure. I forget the full list. I mean, Looney Tunes definitely. I need to on March 1st. I was going to go through it, so I might mess around. I don't know. Cheers to you, George Tunes. I don't know. Um, I think Powerpuff or Dexter. Oh, Cow and Chicken. Definitely Cow and Chicken. Never mind. Cow and Chicken. Cow and Chicken. Probably not Kids Next Door. That was I was kind of past my era, although the creator kept coming into the school and class that I was in. I feel like I have a connection, but none of my age group who's into animation like it as much. It was just I don't know. Maybe I should actually try it. Maybe I should review the first episode or something at some point. Although I would like to do We Bear Bears soon for hoppers. So I don't know. Maybe at some point if I need a segment, I'll talk about Kids in Store. But I can say the creator, very nice, very nice, very nice guy. So this is an interesting story to talk about. I just wanted to bring it up because I think it will be reported incorrectly. So yes, the WGA, SAG, and the DGA are redoing their contracts. Will we have another bunch of strikes or not? We'll wait and see. They're still negotiating. Nothing has been planned right now. We don't know anything. Is it possible there could be a strike? Yeah, I guess. But if you saw, well, the WGA is on strike. What are you talking about, man? It said that the WGA is on strike. Well, so here's the funny thing about that is correct. The actual office of the staff, WGA West staff, is going on strike ahead of the negotiations. So, yes, the WGA itself is on strike. I've never heard of a union itself going on strike, which is bizarre. To me, it sounds like postmodernism, but yes, the WGA itself is going to go on strike, which is interesting. So if you read that somewhere, there's not a WGA strike. Uh, it is a WGA the staff strike. So I've never heard of that. I was like very surprised by it. All right, let's talk about the box office, and then we will do obits, and then you have two segments. Yeesh, I was a little too ambitious tonight. All right, so the thing with the box office is was Wuthering Heights a hit? And I think this gets into all sorts of a bunch of nonsense, particularly weird dudes being weird, and stuff like that. But the numbers itself are not in the greatest at what I think everyone thought they would be. Um, which is that it opened okay, but it opened at $32 million, which it's an $80 million thing. It did make $80 million worldwide. It made back its budget, but I think most people were hoping for like 50 million, like or above. Now, I do think it'll be interesting to see how legs play into Wuthering Heights, but it is like for context, Margot Robbie's sixth best opening, behind Birds of Prey, actually, which is interesting. It is apparently the best opening of 2026, which it didn't say anything, but it did underperform based on expectations. The 50 million thing was not a studio expectation, it's just the thing people were saying, but I did think people would say it, but it did not bomb, and I'm not saying it bombed, but it didn't do like amazing like the Barbie numbers or anything like that. Although I didn't like Margot Robbie saying like nobody makes movies for critics. I'm like, Margot, I've seen movies. Trust me, I know. You don't. I love when people say that, like we don't make movies for critics. I'm like, there's like one movie a year someone says this is made for critics, and it's like, I don't, whatever. Everyone loves doing that, but yeah. Basically, it's like doing fine, but no one wants to say it's a bomb until this coming weekend when I think it'll probably have a drop because the word on the street isn't great, but people seem to like to talk about it, so that might help it. But we'll see what's going to go on with that. Goat is doing okay at 27 million. It's the ninth biggest opening for Sony. It got a little close to Wuthering Heights in the 4-day because it was a holiday weekend and Chinese New Year and all that stuff. So we'll see about Goat, but it did, and also animation has been holding better, and they're really, but it's kind of in a weird space because Zootopia 2 is still doing great, and Hoppers is coming out, so it's not in the greatest point of view there. Uh, um, but the good news is a lot of the big movies that hung around which is at 4, 5, and 6, which is Send Help. Sorry, I did that. Solo Mio and Zootopia. Send Help only went down 1.8% versus last weekend. Send Help is doing well. Solo Mio, Kevin James's movie, if Blacks is still here, only went down 9%, which single digit percentage. That's like major. We don't really have that when I talk about box office. We had 3 movies do it in a row. And then Zootopia 2 went down 4.8%. It has passed $400 million. I don't think it's quite beat Minecraft, but it will soon. I have not watched the Wuthering Heights thing. I kind of wanted to see the movie Wuthering Heights before, but we'll see. And then Good Luck, Have Fun, Don't Die did not do great, but apparently they are going to try to get it in more theaters. So we'll see what happens with Good Luck, Have Fun, Don't Die. And then Avatar actually went up 1%, even though it lost 700 theaters. So the per screen is probably better there. Which, yeah, this is a good box office, although apparently just because last year Valentine's Day had um, Captain America, and that did like pretty well. Last year was did financially better because just having Captain America. So that was better than all these movies, which is still like okay, wow. Oh, and Austin, there's Super Trevor Austin. Do you think it made more money than Heathcliff the Cat? I pretty sure. Cheers to you, Austin. In other news, everyone was impressed by Nirvana, the band, the show, the movie. Made about a million um, from 365 theaters from Neon, and its per screen was pretty high. The only movies, the top 4 had better per screens, but those had thousands of screens. Oh, and Crime 101 did okay. And Dracula bombed. Dracula opened in 10th, or it's the second weekend. Well, Dracula's not doing well. It's only made $8 million. I don't know anyone would sell it. Um, but yeah, I thought that was interesting. The Wuthering Heights thing is interesting, but I think everyone's like, what is going to happen financially with it? I think is going to be interesting, especially the star powered Margot Robbie. Also, I semi look at this as a producer, her sort of Barbie follow up because it's her production company. It's a director who's been with her production company, Emerald Fennell, the entire time. It is kind of like the nexus of she has her production company's top star and producer, which is Margot Robbie, her top director, which is Emerald Fennell, and also like obviously she wants to push this more because she's going to make more as a producer. Although I do like that she really shows up for like the premieres and stuff and puts on like I'm not a fashion person, but I'm like it's cool like every time you see her she's wearing like a different crazy dress and stuff. I was like that's actually like I'm not a red carpet person ever, but I like get it with her because she puts out like they put out a book about the promotional with Barbie, and it's like that's kind of a cool idea, and like I like using your celebrity for stuff like that. I think that's actually pretty neat. So good for her on that. I think that's kind of cool. Dracula Crime 101 are real. Crime 101 looks like a movie someone would lecture me about how I should take movies like that seriously, and then I'd watch it and fall asleep. That's like it. Just I'm like, can I just watch a Michael Mann movie? I hate all the rip Michael Mann movies. I was like, can I just watch? I'm like, can we not do this? Can we just watch Michael Mann? I don't want to watch. I don't. I'm like, I don't want to watch something. So many people rip that guy off. Anyway, I haven't seen all his movies. You could make a case that he's far more influential than he gets credit for. Okay, I want to do obits, and I guess I have 3 people. But I'll talk about the first 2 first because I just saw the Eric Dane thing. But Robert Duvall passed away this week. Insanely legendary actor who was in. I think the first thing I know of him in was To Kill a Mockingbird, which is one of the greatest films of all time. He was, of course, in The Godfather as kind of lawyer there. Godfather 1 and 2. He's great in that. Tender Mercies. His part in Apocalypse Now is just legendary. He was a really great. He was always really great. I think Sinram. I saw he posted a clip from. Was it a Civil Action or something? I forget the John Travolta movie. I've always known him to be a great actor, and of course, he was in The Judge, which I believe was his last Oscar nomination. But I do think he's a man who had a very full, great film career. A lot of his work, particularly with Coppola, is not going to be forgotten, and he's in To Kill a Mockingbird. I mean, I do I've never seen The Apostle, and that was like a big movie that 97 Oscar year, and part of me is like, maybe I should actually see that now. But he was always like one of the better um great actors, I always thought, and a real man of integrity. Um, but uh yeah, sad to see him go. Also, Jesse Jackson, major figure and civil rights activist, ran for president twice in 1984 and 1988. I was reading about his presidential campaign, and why did you guys go with Dukakis? I don't understand. I have like a major beef with everyone go, like, seriously, Dukakis, come on, like, you weren't gonna beat Reagan. You could have done something interesting, and you went with Dukakis. The fucking like, sometimes people are like, the 80s are really cool, but then like there's two 80s, right? There's, I'll explain this in Australian. There's two 80s, right? There's the I Live in a Man Down Under song, and that's like fun, and there's the synth, and Road Warrior, and then there's Crocodile Dundee, and one is a lot of fun and has energy to it. You're like, wow, capitalism's awesome, and then the other is boring as shit and it has way too many white people in it, and that is the difference. That's like why did you go with Dukakis? I don't understand. It really annoys me now. Anyway, Jesse Jackson was amazing on Sesame Street. He was actually really good on SNL when he hosted. He did some amazing political speeches. He should have gotten more than he did. He seems like I've always known him to be a really amazing guy. I grew up in very liberal cities, so I don't. My context for how he's perceived everyone else is very weird, but an amazing, incredible figure of a man, and sorry to see him go. It's kind of sad, but yeah, why did they go with Dukakis? I just don't. Anyway, yes, you're right. Duvall was in Widows. Widows is an awesome movie. One, okay, okay, Mandela Butterfly, you win. What is Stranger Things season 3, and what is Stranger Things season? That yeah, okay. And then, Eric Dane just passed away. Like, we just learned about that during it just happened during the show, but I will say I always liked him when I did watch Grey's Anatomy. And I will talk about Tom Noonan. I almost forgot. I don't know Jane Bear as well. I'll try to remind me next week. Because I don't have that off the top of my head. But Eric Jane, who was in X-Men: The Last Stand, is Multiple Man. But he's always very good as, I think he was McSteamy. Wasn't he McSteamy in Grey's Anatomy was his nickname? I always thought he brought a certain reverence and handsomeness to every performance he was in. I'm sorry about his, I think he had ALS. RIP to him. And Tom Noonan, who was in everything like RoboCop 2 and particularly Monster Squad as Frankenstein, a very good actor and underrated in my mind. And Skeneshi, New York. I was like going through his roles. I was like, man, he was really good. Like, some of these actors, we end up talking about the same couple big stars and stuff, but some of these actors deserve a lot more credit than they do. Please remind me of Jane Bear next week, guys. I didn't get to look her up, so I don't want to be disingenuous. I did almost forget about Tom Noonan, but I had looked him up. Sorry, it was on my script. All right, we're going to take a small break. Then we're going to do kind of a short for Bird and Squirrel, and then do the Three Sisters and stuff like that. Thank you all for being here with me tonight. I really do appreciate it. And hold on, I think this. I don't know. We'll see if this worked. I am gonna keep trying stuff. I think in April I might do a test stream that's not just messing around at some point, which might be less stories and more just like testing stuff out, which I've been needing to do for a long time. But anyway, I'll be right back. I will be right back after this, and then we will talk about those two things, do questions, and we'll end the show. Thank you all very much for being here, and I will be right back after this. All right, we are back. Last, I guess, half hour of the show here. Can we hear? Okay, let me bring the camera back. Ace Wind Rider's awesome. Little bumper there. Oh, hey, what's up? Um, all right, what was I gonna say? Okay, so this is the last part of the show. I'm sorry to do the super chat reminders and stuff like that, but if you would like to do a super chat, um, now is the last time you can do it. And if we're kind of close to another $20 thing, if we get there, I will light up Godzilla again, and that would be cool. And I think we get another roar if we get there too. So we might be close to those things if we get there. But if we don't, it's cool. Thank you all very much for the super chat icons, and thank you all for being as cool as you always are. Why is it always okay? I think the quality drop. Anyway, we'll see. I think that it did stutter a little. Whatever. I shouldn't bring it up. So this first one I'm going to talk a little quicker because it's going to be a short, like YouTube short. And it'll probably be out tomorrow because I wanted to do all the reviews of the cartoons. So apologies, but there'll be like video of the short. So, and then we'll do the Three Sisters, which again, I'm sorry that they took that down. It wasn't my fault. I did actually get video of it, but I kind of knew because I was making sure I had rips of the animated shorts. And I got two more other than this. And when I tried to rip Three Sisters, you couldn't get it with audio. And I was like, oh, I better review this one tonight. I have a feeling. And I was right. So that's good. It's good when that works out. You're like, oh, okay. All right. But hey, this year I'm actually reading 4 of the 5 best animated shorts, which I think might be a record. I don't think I've ever done all of them in one year. But if those screenings weren't always like so inconvenient to get to. But anyway. All right, so let me get my short phase here. Monster Squad rules, by the way. I watched that with Sophie once and that was fun. I wouldn't mind watching it again with my kids. I think that's a fun, underrated almost actually. Even though everyone just remembers the Wolfman's got nards, but it's got like some funny, also all the Holocaust stuff in it, which people forget. Anyway, all right. Weird. Is this the 4th cartoon? All right. There's another. Everyone's here, right? I don't see anyone in the chat, but I'm gonna assume we're okay. Okay. Today I'm talking about yet another cartoon. I think it's the 4th, right? Maybe? I don't know. Anyway, this one is called Bird and Squirrel. It's based on a book series by James Burke. I will say honestly, although the design and the animation is like kind of boring and basically just like the character designs from the book and stuff, this is the one that I think works the best as an actual pilot. It's more about the character dynamics than anything else. It doesn't work as like it's not as cool as the harmonica one, and it's not as cool of a short, but this looks like a ready to go pilot. It's ready for you to get into and get into that character dynamic and work. It's actually probably the smartest pilot I've seen of it. I don't, and it sort of design wise reminded me of things like Angry Beavers and that sort of era of animation. I don't think they'll probably do it as the copyright said 2020 again, much like last time. And to me, it feels like something that's just been like sitting on a hard drive and they're like, fine, whatever, it's out. I do think it does feel like a show that could just run for a significant amount of time. This is very much a let's get people into the dynamic of these characters, which is a very smart thing to do with a pilot, is set up the characters first and then get into the plots so the audience will follow those characters through it. And TV is far more about following the characters than anything else in most parts, particularly with this one. So I will give him credit that this is probably the smartest pilot I've seen of all of the cartoons. I don't know if it's not really my favorite or anything, but I will give it credit for being probably the best pilot. I don't think it'll happen, and I don't know the Bird and Squirrel stuff or James Burke or anything like that. But I will say, like, they set up a show very well, which I don't think Cartoon Network and Warner Brothers TV will ever make, but they set up something good, and it was fun to see them set up something I probably will never see. All right. There we go. Yeah, I actually do think this looks better. Why does it act like it's lower and whatever? I need to do some research. Apologies. All right. This next one. Hold on. The three sisters. The problem with the three sisters is I have to. There's like a lot of stuff called the three sisters that's not animated. Um. Okay. Today we can talk slower because this will be short. Today we're going to talk about the Three Sisters, a Russian animated short. Um, okay, sorry. The Three Sisters is a Russian animated short. It is nominated for Best Animated Short at the Oscars in 2026. This is filmed before the Oscars happen. And it's directed by Konstantin Brozit, who I'm sure I didn't pronounce right, but his name will be down wherever. He has been nominated for Oscars um, a couple times for animated shorts, I believe. I'm going to look this up now. He's been nominated for. Oh, this is his third time being nominated Best Short Film, actually. He has never won, but this is his third nominee. He was nominated for one called We Can't Live Without Cosmos, which I actually want to see. Another one which has a Russian name that I will never pronounce. Because I'm not Russian. I'm taking my time. Get it? Boom, boom. All right. But anyway, this is about. Sorry to the entire country of Russia. This is about three sisters living on an isolated island. Basically, what happens is they have three sisters. They each have a house. They have their money. They go to buy goods and food and stuff. And there's a fish, and all the seagulls attack the fish, which makes them lose their bag of money. And then the people who have all the food and stuff go away because they can't pay for nothing. So then they have to rent out their room, and then they get a big beefy sailor guy who they all sort of fall in love with and compete with. Then he just like disappears one day, and all that. I won't spoil all of it. I do think this is a fun little short, and I like the design. But I will say the whole Three Sisters thing, and it's like kind of an interesting little plot. The whole Three Sisters thing is, I wouldn't mind if like two of them were into this guy and one wasn't, or like they were different about it. But it did feel like they were taking like very simple kind of gender roles and gender dynamics with this. And I'm not trying to be like gender everything and bring up those things. But I also do feel like it was sort of kind of limited. Like they could have done a lot more interesting things if one was just like not interested, or one did it this way or the other way. Like it was like, oh, the one dressed this way and one had tea and one did clothes, but it didn't feel like character specific. It just felt like just I don't know. It felt like all the characters felt very hollow and felt very simple. I sort of didn't. I like the design of it and the idea of it, but I kind of wish it like had done a little more. It felt a little too simple in terms of its writing. Although I like the idea of this big sea captain shows up, and at first they're like disgusted by him and stuff, and I like the sort of arc of that. I didn't really find this to be too fascinating other than design, which I do feel like when we get into these animated short categories, it's far more about like the character design and the dynamic of the animation and how different it looks. And in that degree, yeah, sure. But as an animated short, it kind of like is a little emptier than I think it needs to be. I think like they boiled it down too simply. There's a lot of cool design, and as an animation director, this guy is great. As a storyteller, he just feels very simple. And like, if all you have to say about women is like they're just gonna appeal to some guy because some guy's there, like I don't know. I wish there'd been like he played more with the characters a little more. It just felt like something, felt like a short I'd see in 1945. But the thing is like it's not 1945. It's 2026. So like, why am I watching a short that's written like it's in 1945? It just feels a little reductive and a little boring. But as I liked watching the animation flow and the design and stuff, I thought that was very good. And I do want to watch his other short, the Cosmos one, and I am curious about him as an animator. But I found as a storyteller that this was kind of lacking, and we just don't need to go into those dynamics. But it just felt like very limited and simple in a way that just didn't feel like it was worthy of the cool character design it was given in the animation direction as well. So I just really wasn't feeling the Three Sisters, unfortunately, overall. But I can understand if you kind of like watching it and like watching the design in and of itself. Is that good? Okay. I think we. I'm a little surprised we're this early, but maybe we can do questions for a little bit. I'm going to put questions below as we wrap this up. And the last call for super chats, anyone wants to. Questions below. And I'll do Austin. Let me bring up the Patreon stuff here. Is everybody? Oh, we have a couple for the. Okay, interesting. All right, I'll do. Oh, we have a bunch of Patreon ones. All right. Oh, also the Jacob O'Lordy Bond thing. I just don't see that happening. I'm sorry. I just don't. I don't think he should do it. And I don't think it's gonna happen. But anyway, if you want to ask, this is the question time. So, where are we? Austin asks, "Hey Jim, hope you're doing well. Having a great show as usual. My question for tonight is, like Nirvana the band, the show, what other internet shorts should get a short-lived Canadian TV? Then years later, after making it about I don't know Zune, make a movie." Um. Uh. Yeah, I was thinking about because my daughter and her friends were watching Marcel. Last call for alcohol. Marcel the Shell with Shoes On. I was like, what other shorts? I used to really like Ninja the Little Ninja. I don't know what happened to that. That's a very old one. Pre like even really Newgrounds. Um hmm. What's Salad Fingers doing? Uh no. I don't know. Homestar Runner, I wouldn't mind. Let's bring Homestar Runner back. Let's do maybe that one. I can't think of another thing. I'm sorry. I'd say those ones. Okay, Marcel Torres has two questions. You said Kristen Bell is a boring choice for Amy. Do you think Aquafina would have been better? No. Um I don't have a replacement. I just think, just didn't stick out to me. You know. But anyway. Marcel Torres also says I'm noticing that some HBO shows are moving to Netflix. Is that affected the merger? No, the merger hasn't gone through. That's probably been that was a deal that signed way long ago. But I understand the confusion under that and why you would think that. Nathaniel Foga, any big names you think you would cast as future Sonic characters to appear in the movies? That is an interesting one, actually. I wouldn't mind Joe Keery, since his voice, he looks like Ben Silverman. I wouldn't mind Amy Poehler. Not to bring the Parks and Rec into it. I wouldn't mind uh um oh, Jaleel White. Why isn't Jaleel White? No Jaleel White in this whole thing. I guess people like that. I can't think of like a bigger actor. Who's a bigger actor who's known for? I wouldn't, get Tom Cruise. Tom Cruise. I don't think he's really done animation, so maybe this Sonic should be it. Let's do Sidram. Mystery Men is one of the great underappreciated comedies of the '90s. Who is your favorite '90s comedian? He or she doesn't have to be a Mystery Men cast member. I'm just open about what prompted this question. Underappreciated who is my favorite '90s comedian? I mean, I don't want to go basic with Jim Carrey, but I think he might be, or Mike Myers, or Dana Carvey. I'm trying to think if there's a comedian. I was really into Mike Myers, so to me, it's sort of Mike Myers because I don't really see him. Even when he does stuff past, it feels '90s to me. Um, yeah, I might just say Mike Myers. Probably Mike Myers. I think for favorite, yeah. Jordan Richard, if you could give $1 billion to any animated series showrunner like Gendy, J.K. Quintel, who would it be, and what movies or shows would you like them to create with the money? I mean, Gendy's because we get the Black Knight. I mean, I feel like Gendy would be the most bang for your buck. I would probably. I know it's like he is like when people say who should direct a movie, and they just say Tarantino. I do think he's sort of like that, but he really does become like that after a certain point. But I would say him. Also Pendleton Ward because I like everything he's ever done. Um, yes, Sorry. Okay, West Senator, will you be playing Fortnite now that Mordecai and Rigby are in it? Definitely. I'll be on it right after this. Embla D, was Kate Bush singing to Heathcliff, the cat? Did that show even come out when she sang that song? I think Heathcliff was after. Because West Side Stories, maybe they have at the same time. That'd be funny if she was. I mean, I could see her doing that. I'm going to have some of this so I don't fall asleep. I don't want to fall asleep on stream. What would the fan of what lines would Knockforce have if they had plushies? Um, I know F Knocker would have I'll barf on trains forever. I don't know. That should have been a t-shirt. We never got into the t-shirt game. Um, Probably going oh stuff like that. Although regular shirt did that too. So I don't know. I would say I know barf on trains forever would be in there. That's what I do now. Where were we? Sinram, have you seen Mad God, Phil Tippett's stop motion feature? I haven't, and I think about it a lot, so I should at some point. I think I might. Medela Butterfly, what part of the '80s hasn't been told? P.S. Watch the Kids Next Door Christmas special. Okay, what part of the '80s hasn't been told? I think the '80s is a little, and the night, all of it's too covered. I don't know what part of the '80s. Maybe just like being bored at watching. I think just how bland it could be. I think that we haven't really gotten into. I think people want the '80s to be, you know, how Netflix views it with Stranger Things. Sorry, whoa. Black Sox and Rico, why wasn't Chris Pratt the voice of Amy? Why wasn't Kevin James the voice of Amy? No, because I guess, is anyone in both Mario and Sonic? I don't think there. I can't think of someone unless I'm leaving someone else. But I think you have to pick a side. You can't do. You can't be in both, right? I don't think there is anybody, right? Is there? Someone correct me if I'm wrong on that. Actually, if I'm wrong. I mean, Hope Zorander is still active, so maybe that movie's coming. The Dublu Loon Hunter. Sorry, how do you feel about Blue Point Games closing down? I don't know what that is. Let me look here. I'll look it up for you because we have Blue. Where were we? Blue Point Games. Okay, Blue Point Games. What is that? It's a video game company. Okay. Um, I don't know them, but I'm sorry, I guess, is the best answer. If you had to write the plot of Toy Story 5 to be good, how would you do it? I wouldn't have Woody in it. Hey, Gary, I saw it was your birthday recently. Nice to see you, man. Sorry, I'm glad someone gave me that Dark City DVD, and thank you for it. Um, I don't. I think it would be more of a Buzz and uh Jesse and all them story. I don't think Woody should come back at all. I would definitely do that. I would say that would be it. Wait, I feel like I'm okay. Austin, how much Family Matters did you watch and did you see before or after Die Hard? I saw it before Die Hard. I watched a lot of it, but then I didn't see the end one until like I was in college, and I think Ian and I were watching it and we're like found out it was the last episode. We're like, what the fuck is this? It was so wild. Favorite Kevin James role, but not Nathaniel Fogg. I would 100% say Paul Blart is my favorite one. I think next to Hotel Transylvania, if I could do that. A Black Sax Wing, do you have a restaurant, be it a chain or a local place, that you still wish was around? There's a place called a good pizza place around here. That used to be around here, Barbaccino's. I used to miss Chili's a lot as a kid. I'm not sure if it was even that good, but as a kid, I used to like Chili's a lot. Hardee's. There's no Hardee's around here, so those would be. I think those are good answers. I don't know. Nathaniel Fogo, because Little Caesar's just starting in, so I got a Little Caesar around me. I'm very excited about that. Nathaniel Fogo, what's a snack from your childhood you wish would come back? I wish there were more crab chips up here. I like crab chips. A lot of the childhood things I just said are specific Maryland stuff, like having Old Bay on popcorn. My kids would never do that. I might do that if I ever have a night to myself, do Old Bay popcorn, because that would be like we would get so hyped. But we're also like kids in Baltimore, so like Old Bay popcorn was like amazing. You know that, and what's it? Cow's milk. Cal Ripken had his own brand of milk, in Baltimore. That I don't remember. I think it was like very much like whole milk plus or something. I don't know it, but I remember drinking it and thinking like, this is gross, but I love it. Just like Cal Ripken. Uh, um, no, I would like to see, uh, my God, Mad God, or what. I would like to see that. Who makes the best rib in New York City? I don't know. There's a lot. I mean, Cats is always good. Cats is always good. You got to do it. But if you do Cats, do not go to a spinoff. Go to the actual Cats location. You have no reason to go to any others. I know they're trying to make it a chain. Good for them, whatever. But like, go to the actual one. It's worth it. You can pretend to have an orgasm. It's fun. The Rocket Lomax, overrated food. Rice cakes maybe. Not a big fan of those. Not a big pesto guy. One of those. Those will be it. All right. Embla T. Do we need a Jim plushie that talks and says, "What's up, it's Jim," and a review of the judge and the wall? That's Mercy. Well, like your Uncle Jesse? I'm assuming you mean, oh, it would give you a review of Mercy. I never reviewed Mercy. I know you're all disappointed. Is that it? Did we do it all? I'm a little surprised. I don't really have anything. Maybe I should have done 3 segments and reviewed 1979. The best hot dog in Crift Dogs. I would agree with that. I don't know how available they are now. Are they still around? Hold on. Let me look that up. Actually, I think they're. I'm not gonna Crift. Oh, Crift Dogs is still there, but I think the one in Williamsburg is gone. Right? Something like that. Anyway, it's been a minute since I've had Crift Dogs, Gary. I'm gonna be honest with you. It's been a minute. I hope you had a happy birthday, Gary. All right. I think tomorrow will be that short. I know there's probably another music compilation because I realize I want to try to get more of those out this year. So I need to organize that, and I'm kind of working on that. And there's other projects and stuff, so I'm excited for those. I'm excited for this weekend and having all that stuff. What was I gonna say? Let me give a thanks to all the super chat. No, there's one in St. Mark's that says, I don't know, maybe I should check it out. Oh, they moved out and to NYC. I see what you said. I misread that. All right. Let me give an extra special thanks to Black Sox for Super Chats for Black Sox, Winkle, Austin, Medella Butterfly, DFG Esper, William Elman, Will, Nathaniel Foga, Jortunes, and Austin. Got a wide range of people. That's always nice. Cheers to all of you for the super chats and for the support. We'll just end on Godzilla there. You know, it's funny when this isn't here. It's on my bedside thing. And if like the kids aren't going to sleep, I'm like, you can just watch Godzilla. There's a lot of kids the kids fall asleep to this Godzilla shooting flames at that. Anyway, thank you all for being here. I believe we will be back next week. I'm sure there'll be videos. I hope you enjoy the cartoon thing. Sorry it was so late. It just every time it was time to shoot, I kept getting too tired. So and also let's thank Sidram for doing the timestamps. He's doing an amazing job. Really gotta thank him for all the time he's saving me and stuff. I really very much appreciate it. Let's all give a round of applause to him. And everyone who's been here and all y'all being cool as well. Thank you very much for watching. Thank you for being here. Thank you for everything. I'll see you all later. See a cool movie or a movie you haven't seen or something. And oh yeah, I saw Doctor Strange too. I forgot about that. The Sam Raimi parts are cool. I forgot I was gonna mention that. I know I'm like, yeah. I'll just say this thing on the Doctor. Since I have a little time, the Doctor Strange multiverse. I rewatch it and it's like 100% clear. Marvel made him put certain things in there, but all the Sam Raimi parts are really cool. And I was seeing the Sam Raimi flourishes after seeing Send Help to that. I was like, I'm seeing all the little Sam Raimiisms. I think those were kind of the best parts, is all the Sam Raimi stuff. But it is like the reasons for Wanda going crazy made like no sense, and all their and also where's America Chavez? She was great from Babysitters Club. Anyway, it was a nice on a rewatch. I think also he's the only one who's like, I'm gonna shoot this special effects thing like a monster movie from 1950. You go, Sam Raimi. I love it. I like that his only Marvel movies are all did code out. Good for him. Anyway, sorry. I went a little too long. I wanted to put that in there because I meant to. Thank you all. Cheers, Godzilla. I'll see you all next week. And have a good night. Sorry I kept this going too long. Bye, and take care of yourselves, and see you around.